This here is Seto Summon the Fanatic, back with you for another deck profile for Team Forbidden. This time, doing a deck for the card that got me into the game. From the very beginning, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now, let's get into the deck. Alright, first off, it's a Blue Eyes deck. You gotta do like Seto Kaiba. Run 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. I'm running the Anniversary art, mostly because of reasons, because I have all 3. I'm actually borrowing one from a friend. So, it's like my friend's heart is in the deck, heart of the cards. Who cares about that? 3 Blue Eyes. Next up, 3 Dragon Spirit of White. Yes, I run 3 of this card. I really don't understand why people are only running 2, especially since we don't have a whole bunch of the cards that the OCG he has. And we don't have the Dragon Structure deck. Of course, we'll be doing an updated profile of that once that deck comes out, because that's going to change how this deck plays drastically. But basic effect, summon it, banish spell or trap, great during the end phase, comboed with this guy. Whitestone of Ancients, obligatory level 1 tuner. Also running 1 Whitestone of Legend, because so nice, you're able to go Legend, get Blue Eyes to your hand, and that way if you have a Spirit Dragon on board, opponent has a monster, boom, you have yourself a 3000 beat stick. And next up, we have the Spellcasters. Those are all the dragons we have in the deck. Spellcasters, we start with, of course, the 3 Sage. Single-handedly best card in the deck by far. Searches any of your combo pieces if you need to summon it. Or, better yet, you can use this card. I'm still using her for now. Very classic card. She can stall for days if the opponent doesn't have a card to get rid of her. The other with Eyes of Blue card that I am running is Master. I'm not seeing a lot of people run him, but I actually quite like him. If you can get him in the graveyard and get his effect off, he can also steal games on his own, and he's instant. You can search him with Sage with Eyes of Blue. He sort of creates a loop where you can have him in the graveyard, summon a Sage, search for something, target the Sage, and summon a Blue Eyes from your graveyard, put him back in the deck. And vice versa, when he is summoned, if you have Sage in the grave, you can add him back into your hand, and boom, there's a Blue Eyes monster. The other level 1 tuners that we have in the deck, which I do run, are I run 2 Effect Veiler. I keep rotating this card around between 1 or 2. I'm not 100% settled on anything just yet. Might go into a Dragunity Corsica, because I can search it, because I am running Ravine, which we'll see later. Or I might just go into Flamvell Guard, because sometimes this deck desperately needs another normal monster for the field spell. And 2 Max Cs, because 3 is too much, but 2 seems about just right when you draw them and they go off with them. Absolutely fantastic. Now, of course, this deck has a lot of hand problems, so that's where these come in. We got 3 trade-ins for the Blue Eyes, 2 cards of Consonance for the Dragon Tuners. Next up, 3 Silver's Cries, one of the best revival cards in the game for Blue Eyes, especially since Monster Reborn is banned. And you can also target Dragon Spirit of White in the graveyard with it. Be careful when using this card as a Chain Link of Higher, because Dragon Spirit of White's banishing effect will miss the timing. Next up, I run 2 Mausoleums and 2 Dragon Ravines. No Terraforming. Basic reason for that is I have 5 draw cards, and half the time I draw them and draw the Terraforming way too late. So I'm just running 2 copies of each. Next up, obligatory staples, 2 Twin Twisters, because back row. Plus, combo that with Whitestone of Ancients or Master with Eyes of Blue and get your combos going super hard. Next, Raigeki. Yes, sexy Ultra from the Dark Beginning 1. And the 1 Soul Charge for your combo plays off of Dragon Ravine. You might notice I'm not running Dragon Shrine. That's because I am running Dragon Ravine. I like being able to handfix over sending my Blue Eyes or my Dragon Spirits to the graveyard, because I like having my Dragon Spirits in my deck for, well, I don't know, maybe the Whitestone of Ancients that I run. Always nice to summon them off of Whitestone instead of a Blue Eyes. Next, I'm only running 3 traps. These rotate from time to time, but right now I'm running Solemn Warning and 2 trap stuns. Sort of an alternative to additional copies of Twin Twisters. If my opponent runs a lot of back row, I'll just flip this up. They can't play any traps for the turn. Alright, next up, the extra deck. This is where a lot of Blue Eyes players differ in a lot. If I had Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, I'd be running him, but for right now, my deck consists of the 1 Twin Burst Dragon, such an amazing card, about time this card came out, 2-headed Blue Eyes Fusion, 3 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragons. That's right, you heard me correctly, 3. And I've even got a 4th one that I'm not using, because why not? Targets for the Spirit Dragon we have are 3 Azure Eyes Silver Dragons. Yes, running 3 of them right now. Sometimes I even Synchro Summon one and Synchro Summon the other. So that way I have 2 giant level 9 beat sticks and protection for my dragons for at least until the end of the opponent's turn. 1 Stardust Spark Dragon to go into because it's survivable off of the Azure Eyes. And 1 Black Rose Moonlight to stop some plays. Next we run some Ixie summons. We have the Galaxy Eyes engine, consisting of 1 107 Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, 1 number 62 Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon, a Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon, and the number 95 Dark Matter Dragon. Sets up your graveyard for plays and attacks 4,000 twice on 2 monsters. And next we have the last rank 8 in the deck, which is number 38, Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. Love this card. This card is so good. And this last spot usually rotates around a lot, but right now I'm playing 1 Slacker Magician. Reason being, sometimes I've had hands where I test and play against other people and I'm like, damn it, I wish I was running a rank 1. Unfortunately, she's the only good rank 1 we have in the game right now, because we are missing a very particular rank 1 that a lot of OCG players are running. But, that said, she's a rank 1, and she's a spellcaster, which will combo well with some of the stuff in our side deck, which I will get into in this video. Alright, side deck, to start things off, I'm siding the 2 Honest. I might main deck them at some point, but right now I have them in the side just for any particular matchups that have giant beat sticks I can't get over. I mean, it doesn't happen often because you're running Blue Eyes, but it can happen and it can steal games, and just dropping this card when the opponent is compared for it is completely glorious. Next up, the obligatory Burst Stream of Destruction. This is really just a placeholder because I really want to run this card because the field spell can search it out. But sometimes I'll side this in if I notice my opponents have a bunch of stuff where they summon a whole bunch of monsters on board. Blue Eyes, if you have Blue Eyes White Dragon out, it's a second copy of Raigeki. So you just do that and then overlay Blue Eyes or just fusion it or synchro it, and then you can just make plays from there. Next up, gotta thank the people at Konami for this one because I did not think about this. 2 Secret Village of the Spellcasters. Very good because all the With Eyes of Blue cards are, well, they're spellcasters. If you get you can side these against Monarchs, and they don't have any spellcasters in that deck. Normally they don't anyways. But you side this in against Monarchs, you start off with a Sage, a Mausoleum of White, and this thing, you can end with a level 9 Synchro and a Maiden, and lock your opponent out of all their spell cards in 1 turn, with just 3 cards. Next up, 2 System Downs. These are for any pesky machine decks like Despots, the Cosmos ships, yada yada yada. Chaos Trap Hole. Very highly underrated card. Essentially, it's 2 extra copies of Solemn Warnings for Light and Dart monsters. Threatening Roars, because I wanted something to stop OTKs, and this makes the opponent skip the battle phase, so it deals with pesky monsters that are unaffected like card effects, such as Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon, Great Magnus, or the now banned, and hopefully banned forever, Apocalyphort Towers. Next up, we have 2 Typhoons. Slide these in against the Pendulum matchups. You draw them turn 1. break their scales. Good stuff. Just some extra spell and trap hate. And finally, even if I manage to get Strike and put it in this deck, I'm not going to take these out of the side, save for one matchup. This is for Buster Bladers. You got to have something to deal with the Dragon Slayers. So that there is the Blue Eyes deck profile, the glorious original dragon that got me into the game. Thanks, hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not already. Give the video a like, and we will catch you next time.